Welcome to Panthers Training Camp Live, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Kristen Balboni, the team reporter, and I am grinning from ear to ear because it is a big day here in Charlotte. The players are putting on pads for the first time, and we are going to be showing it all to you live right here. And I can't do this alone. This is a big day. So who better to break it all down for us than Panthers legend Jake Delhomme. Jake, good morning.
Good morning. It's a good Monday morning, and we actually get to see some type of practice and some type of movement and guys in helmets and things of that nature. So very excited, as you can tell by the smile on my face.
Well, yes, so I noticed the smile on your face, but I also noticed that you were in a truck and you got a beautiful background right there. Before we went live, I actually saw a horse run across, so you got to tell us, you got to let us in on where you're at.
Yeah, I'm at the stables this morning. I'm, every day of the week we're here. So if we're gonna do this, I just kind of walk out to the truck and get set up, and we're gonna do it from here. So the power of technology, you gotta love it.
I absolutely do. So what does it mean when you put on the pads for the first time in a season? What did that mean to you when you did it every year?
Well, I think it's just the excitement in the beginning of hopefully an extremely long and productive season. I think that's the thing. When you go to training camp, I know my mindset was always, okay, it's usually the third to fourth week in July, and you take a deep breath and you realize, okay, time to go to work every day until you have a bye week, whenever that may be, and hopefully you're playing through the first week of February. So it's just everything you've done in the off season, all the work you've put in, the running, the throwing, and getting yourself your body prepared. But the biggest thing is getting yourself mentally prepared, because this is a grind, and there'll be some bumps and bruises, some ups and downs, and you just kind of get yourself mentally prepared to grind it out. And everybody has hope, everybody has optimism, and that's what I always loved about that first day. You kind of go out and play with that new toy, so to speak. Especially this year, no mini camps, no OTAs, nothing like of that nature. So the guys are still somewhat getting to know each other, the coaches also. So this is a new beginning, a fresh start, and I'm excited to see a little bit of it.
All right, well, let's see a little bit of it right now. We got the players stretching, warming up. We expect them to take the field in just a few minutes, but let's check in. Let's see what we got. So we have some arrivals. Troy Pride Jr. right there, Derek Brown. And now, I don't know about you, Jake, but I love getting to see them all walk in. I like to see who's with who, who's on the cart, we know the rookies can't take the carts, but I just like to kind of get the vibe. I think it's a great place to start.
No, it is. And you watch the ones that, the guys that spend a little too much time in front of the mirror, the ones that really care about what they look like, and you have the other ones that they're ready to go. They're lathered up and they're ready to go. First day of pads, so everybody is super excited. You're gonna have some fresh legs. You'll hear that word some, especially in meetings, especially guys out there for the first time. You'll call them fresh legs because everybody's ready to go. So it's as you can see right here, quarterback center exchange. Usually when you get out to practice, you're gonna get out there before practice starts, and you'll do quarterback center exchange. And I know that's so elementary, I guess you could say, but it's so crucial and it's so vital. And to have one during the course of the season is unacceptable, to be quite honest. Yeah. And you can see we have another drill with the defense, and they're working on punching the football out, and on two different areas. And it's defensive linemen, defensive backs, linebackers. So working to punch the football out, creating turnovers. Saturday night we did the recap show of the 2015 championship game, and we had Charles Peanut Tillman, and they named the phrase after him, the Peanut Punch.
They sure did,
because he was he was a hell of a player, but he brought something new to the game, the Peanut Punch. So that's little things like that. That's what they're doing. And we have footage of the guys stretching and the sweat coming off, and everybody's getting loose and getting ready to go. And there's probably some butterflies, some anxiousness, but man, that's what it's all about.
And so a couple of things I want to point out to you. We see right here defensive starters wearing black. They were wearing it yesterday as well. And then also, Jake, did you notice that the quarterbacks are wearing green? So I want to get, what do you think about that?
Well, hopefully it's not a green light for people to hit them. That's something that I actually read Coach Rule, I guess his presser. I read that he said he just didn't like the red. That was more of a symbol of somebody who was injured, and so green it just looked better on the eyes, and that's what he wanted. And I like that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and so that's one thing that is definitely a big change. That for many years it's always been the red jerseys in most places, but especially Carolina for the quarterbacks.
Now, would that throw you off at all? I love that Rule was essentially like, look, it's kind of a superstition for me. As you said, he said red denotes injury. My quarterbacks have always worn green or orange. I really like it too, and so you wouldn't mind it if you had to put on the green jersey after years of doing the red.
No, you really wouldn't. I mean, I hate to say this, but if you're worried about what color jersey you have on when you go out to practice, then maybe your mind's not totally focused on getting better each and every rep.
Well, look, that's why you're in the Hall of Honor and I'm just a media member, okay? I'm like, I wonder if that makes you play any different. We just saw a live look-in at the Dome. We are waiting for the players to come out and take the field. Another thing, Jake, that's different about this training, I mean, everything is different about this training camp, right? But outside, it's like 72 degrees outside in Charlotte right now. Yesterday, I was out at practice, 68 degrees in the morning. I mean, you think about those summers that you were out there in Spartanburg, a little bit different.
Yeah, very much so. And it was easy to go to Spartanburg, I know for myself, because I would come back to South Louisiana for about 4 to 5 weeks before camp would start. So it was actually almost a little bit of a reprieve when we got to Wofford. But to have a 68-degree morning and 72 right now, it's you cherish those days when you're able to have maybe a little less humidity, the temperature's a little bit down. It certainly gives a little pep in the step, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So I want to go over expectations for this week and for today. Coach Rule spoke to the media yesterday and he said, this week is about starting to build the physical identity of this team. He said that's really what we want it to feel like when they put the pads on. And this week is really for guys to understand what's expected of them, to put everything together. But I want to know, if you're Coach Rule, Jake, what specifically are you trying to get out of today?
I think the biggest thing is healthy. You want to be healthy at the end of every practice if possible. But you just want to see some crispness. I mean, you want to see guys running from one drill to the next. You want to see center quarterback exchange, routes on air. You don't want a ball to hit the ground. Team takeoff, when you're calling a play and you're having a good break from the huddle, everybody running to the line of scrimmage. You like to have no mental errors. Well, is it going to happen? Maybe not, but you can start to establish that, and guys come out with that mindset each and every day. But the speed, that's one thing that you kind of hear in Coach Rule. I try to listen to his press conferences or read after practices. He wants an up-tempo, a fast up-tempo. And if you're going to be out there for 90 minutes, well, let's get 2 hours of work in 90 minutes. It's just that fast-paced tempo to where he said it. He wants the games to be slow. And when you put yourself in those situations at practice. So let's see how it goes today. Let's start off on the right foot. I promise you, Coach Rule has talked to his coaches and preached to them. And I know they had a staff meeting this morning. And he's like, hey, I want high repetition. I want high motors, and I want coaching. And that's one thing whenever you watch, just kind of listening to Rule and things like that. He wants teachers. And so you go to Panthers.com, and I watch the photo gallery. I look at the photo gallery from practices, and everything you see the coaches like in the drill, running a drill with the guys, helping like a defensive back, driving out of a break, or the receivers, and they're trying to hit the ball away. That's what I enjoy most about it. These coaches, I mean, they're coaching. I mean, they're just not out there with a whistle and the straw hat on, just kind of watching guys go through the motions. They're into it, and that's what you got to love as a player.
Yeah, I got to see it in person yesterday, and let me tell you what, it is fast, and those coaches are involved. And that's what Coach Rule said. He said, we want to go very, very fast in practice. So whatever the coaches need to do to make that happen, you mentioned them getting involved in the drills, that's what we're going to be doing. And there's been a lot that's been made of how fast these practices are. I'm excited for everyone to get to see it. Jake, I want to see what you think once you see these guys take the field. But let me tell you what, that music is going. We are moving from drill to drill. It's a lot of fun. It's impossible not to get excited, and I'm standing, 100 yards away. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think one of the questions I have is what's the genre of music? What kind of music are they playing? I mean, is it something that Coach Rule wants? Do the players get to vote on it? Does somebody have a great day at practice and he gets to decide what type of music the next day, or is it an offense defense thing? Who got the best of each other the day before? I mean, little things like that. I know that's so elementary or whatnot, but just little things like that. Guys compete and they have fun over things like that.
No, I absolutely love that. The music was hip hop yesterday. I mean, definitely not. I mean, you can imagine if you're wanting the fast pace, you're not playing any classical or country or anything like that. So, but it's a good point. I wonder if it'll change based on whoever the star of practice is at a certain point. I like that. You get music privileges. You get the aux cord for the day.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? I was a part of a team, and I've been a part of many. There was no music at practice. I've been a part of a team where there was music at practice. And so it's just, that's when you realize, hey, I play a kid's game for a living. When you're out there practicing, it's a high stress job, and then you're in your stretch routine and the music's playing, some guys are starting to feel it, and then they're always going to be the guys that can dance, and they're going to do a little dance move, and you start getting into it. And I've been a part of a team where the offensive linemen would take turns dancing, and it was almost a competition. Well, that just kind of it's a bond, it's a closeness, it's a chemistry, camaraderie, whatever you want to call it. Those are fun things, because there are some light moments during practice, but when it's time to go and get after it, you're going 100 miles an hour.
All right, we are waiting. It looks like the players are about to head out onto the field. Oh man, first time in pads this season as they get ready to go.
So we'll have half the team will come out to on the field, and I'm assuming the other half maybe will stay in the indoor, and they'll probably swap practices and things like that. So anxious to see them come running out, and here they go.
Here we go. And Jake, I'm excited, but I know this is like Christmas morning for you just to get to see this, that first time as they start to come out in their full pads.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just something about it, and something about get going and go to the first drill and let's get moving. Let's get practice started. Let's start to compete. Let's see what we got out here. Let's see some of the new toys and see how they perform, and some of the toys that we've already had. We know what they can do, and we'll see if they've gotten any better.
Well, and Jake, as you mentioned, defense is going to stay inside the dome for this first portion. And then we got the offense, including those quarterbacks in their green jerseys right there coming out. I tell you what, I mean, Teddy, I'm excited to see what you think of him in his first practice. Of course, when we've got you here, we know that we're going to be looking at the quarterbacks. What are your initial impressions so far?
Just kind of a pro's pro, and that's one of the best compliments you can give somebody. Just seems like he does everything correctly.
Yeah.
Just as a leader, it sounds like he's in early, he stays late, he knows the protections, he knows the run checks, he knows what he's supposed to do, he's telling the guys what to do, and just a leader. And that's the thing that you want to see. You saw him come walking out, and he put the quarterback coach, and they're probably going over a last minute, hey, remember this check today, and they've gone over everything at practice, because you want, as the quarterback, you want to be in charge at all times. If anybody has a question, if you can answer it before a coach, that's when those guys just look at you in a different light.
And as we see the defense inside the dome, for everyone who's just joining us, offense outside right now. Can you imagine, Jake, as a quarterback trying to lead a team through text message for the first few months?
No, I can't. I don't know how you do it, but obviously he did it. And as we kind of watch the running backs, they're doing a little just a little cone drill, a little square drill, but the ball's high and tight. They're trying to swipe at the football, shortcuts, breaking down, just little things. And these things you're going to do every single day. And you might say, gosh, it's so repetitive, but that happens in a game. Tiki Barber was a fabulous running back, and he had a fumbling issue early in his career. And then he became with the high and tight. And Matt Rule spent some time with the Giants and Coach Coughlin. So, I mean, to me, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this high and tight, that ball, tight against the body, against the forearm. And as we're watching the defensive backs, they're getting loose right now. They're dropping back, kind of doing a wave drill, flipping their hips and getting the football thrown to them. Because we all know a defensive back is a wide receiver that couldn't catch.
Oh,
we all know that.
Man.
DBs love when they do that.
I know. I bet they love when you, yeah, exactly. They love when you say that to their face, huh? No doubt about it. So as we're going back and forth.
Now you see the running back.
Yes.
Yeah, just an angle drill right here, putting your outside foot in the ground and getting turned and getting movement. It's just getting loose. And we're watching. Look, we all know we're watching the best running back in football.
Absolutely.
And Christian McCaffrey. So what I like, he's the first one in line. He's the first guy in line, and everybody falls in. And look, he is not lollygagging through this. He is going through this 100 miles an hour. That sets the tone. That sets the tone for everybody behind him. And Reggie Bontemps doing the same thing.
Exactly. And what a great guide for those guys to get to watch him and the way that he practices and sets the tone. You're absolutely right. I mean, that's just invaluable right there for those backup running backs, the guys who are competing for that spot.
And this is something small, but like, look, chin straps. It's not, you have some guys that they won't buckle chin straps, and I might have done that at a practice or too early on, but this is what he is strapped up. We're ready to go. This is not get the motions. This is I'm gonna make myself better in this drill.
Absolutely. Love getting to see this. Like we said, this is the first time we're getting to see these guys in pads. So we're back inside with the defense right now. Jake, what do you think so far?
Well, I just like the way they're moving here, and this is one where this is just kind of a reaction drill. You don't want to get your feet too wide. So the guy on the left, he doesn't want to get his feet too wide. He wants to stay square, and he's just kind of mirroring a defender. He's just staying in front of him. As we see Jeremy Chin, he's good looking in a uniform. I'll tell you that much.
I am so excited about him.
Yeah, he's long.
Well, and they have him, they want to line him up in all different places. I mean, he just says like his position is defender. That's what he says.
And like these things are so crucial. They're working on their first step. They're not taking a false step. So you have Shaq right here. Shaq's if the running back is going to go to the left, Shaq's going to take the step with his right foot. He's not going to take a false step. Little things like that. They go so far in making sure a guy kind of scrape over and get into the hole or don't miss a tackle and get set up by a running back. Just these is where you work on the little things.
Absolutely, and that's what we are getting to see right now. We're going to head back outside to the quarterbacks. Jake, I'll tell you what, Will Greer impressed. He had a great throw to Pharaoh Cooper in yesterday's practice that we all saw. The media that was there, and everyone was like, "Wow, that was really nice." So it's nice to see, not just Teddy, but to see these backups doing well as well.
And this is a fresh start for Will, year two. So this is a fresh start. He understands what the league's about. We had a taste of playing last year, but new regime coming in. I think the only thing I'd ask Will is, man, it's camp, and he has a beard. I don't understand why he's got the beard in camp. It seems like you're going to wait till the colder months, but who knows?
Jake, did you catch that? Teddy doing handshakes with everybody?
I did see that. And I know I'm going to use the word elementary again. That's so elementary, but there's just something about it. Just Sam Mills, to me, I always thought, I was only around him for 1 year. Obviously knew of him when he was with the Saints and things like that. But in 2003, when he was diagnosed with cancer, he coached us every single day. And he would leave practice, go to chemo, but he had the enthusiasm every single day. And it resonated with the football team. And there was no doubt that this team fed off of him. And little things like that. And you might want to say false chatter, false enthusiasm. It doesn't matter. It resonates with the team. It permeates throughout the team. When you have guys, enthusiasm is such a key role to having good football teams. Guys that just have some life to them. As we see Effie Abada go through the drills, working on a hand swipe, and then knocking the ball. That's one thing you're kind of seeing is that everything is almost finishing with knocking the ball out, pushing the ball out. That's something that you like to see. You want to create as many turnovers as possible.
Absolutely, and F.A. Obata, first guy out there yesterday, getting in some extra work, which you love to see. Another thing that Justin Burris said yesterday, talking about Phil Snow, that he wants his defense, and Phil Snow's actually told me this before as well, a big component for him is for his defense to know as much about the offense as possible. He wants them to study it just as much as they're studying what they're doing, so that, like you said, they can, have an even better chance of creating those turnovers.
Well, the game will come slower to you if you start to understand what the other team is trying to do to you and recognize route patterns and things of that nature. The game will slow down, and when the game slows down for you, that's when you play your best. When you just see things and you can just kind of play at a high level with a high confidence. As we see Brian Burns, you can tell he might have put on a couple of pounds, but he still has the speed. Very impressed with him last year, and I've said it, and I'll say it again. The hand injury hurt him tremendously last year because toward the latter part of the season, he was still playing. He had a club on, and then it would get smaller and smaller. But you'd watch him grab guys. He was there, but he just couldn't get a whole grip because he had the cast on. So I think you're going to see big things from him in year 2, especially with KK back and Derek Brown. So I expect big things from Brian. I mean, he was a first-round pick, and he showed flashes last year, but I expect to see a good bit this year.
Absolutely, and you're right. I think he said he put on 15 pounds of pure muscle and talked a lot about that injury and how he felt like he was playing great football, just like you said, and he talked about really dialing in and making sure that he was in top physical shape because he wants to be able to have that full year at that level this year. So I'm excited to see what he can do. So
yeah, and just kind of watching Gross Matos and watching.
Oh, go on, Jake. Sorry about that.
Well. I'm sorry. Derek Brown's a large man that can move extremely well, as we just saw. And then Gross Matos, length. That's what you see. You see length and leverage. And that's so key. You can ask any offensive lineman. If you get a defensive lineman that's got all this length and leverage, they can get underneath your pads and they can make you look bad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. Stephen Weatherly was talking the other day, and he said, he said, I'm big, and he's listed at 6'5", 265. He said, I'm big, but Derek Brown is big, and he's listed at 6'5".
Who is that?
Oh, man. Whoo, guys.
Okay.
This is why it's so great to be live. Just saw Coach Rule go through it. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that's kind of, you can't recreate that. What he just did, I mean, those guys are seeing, hey, let's go. This is what I want. I want to see this effort, focus, intensity. I want to see this kind of balls to the wall approach. This is how we're going to practice. Marquise Haynes flying through this drill. Those guys absolutely loved it. And they're going to talk about this. This will be shown in film. They'll talk about in the locker room. Somebody will tease Coach Rule. They might have a rookie show and they imitate him. But that's kind of all part of the process.
Well, I love it. Back at some of his earlier jobs, the media had been asking him this week if he was going to put on full pads because he's been known to do that in the past. And quite a few people asked him, and every time he said, look, no shot. Those days are long gone. This team is too big, too fast for me to get out there in pads. But hey, look, he didn't say anything about running a drill. I love that.
No, I do too. And the players love it. There's no doubt that the players love it. And look, it goes to show, hey, I'm invested with you guys. This is what I want to see. And let's get after it. So, and this is just a jab. They're just jab swiping, and then they're going after the football. And these are the things that if you ever slow-mo and watch a game or really focus in on the D lineman, as we watch Derek Brown, oh my gosh.
Woo!
Okay, you see, that hurts.
That man can move.
When they hit like that, hurts. I know when they hit me like that, I don't like it. It hurts.
Do you still feel it? You can still feel it these years later?
No, I'm feeling good right now, but at the time, it's my gosh.
Yeah, that'll leave a bruise, no doubt about it. All right, we are going to head back outside. I love that we have this access. And Jake, this is, as we look at Teddy Bridgewater right here, it's so cool because, of course, we love to have the fans at training camp, and the fans love to be there. And of course, in this crazy year, that's not possible. But I'm so glad that we're able to do this right now. We got cameras in the dome inside. We got cameras outside, and it's great to get a look at these guys for the first time.
No, it is. And you're kind of watching Teddy. The heads, he's constantly on a swivel, just making sure everybody's lined up, taking the snap, dropping back, completing passes, just constant communication. And that's what you want. You want everybody on the same page, just kind of, hey, in and out. Let's get reps. Let's get quality reps. And let's do it at a fast pace. Let's get in shape. Let's do it at a very fast pace.
Absolutely. And, so much of what I've heard these other players talking about Teddy is just the intangible that he has. We talked a little bit about leadership earlier, but they just say everyone gravitates towards him. He felt like it was his team coming in, and you and I talked a little bit earlier about how hard that must be in the midst of a pandemic. But I love that, and then you couple it with strong fundamentals, and it could be a special year for him and this offense.
It could be. It could be, and that's the thing that kind of the approach we're hearing that he took in the offseason of texting guys, getting to know guys. So when you meet him in person for the first time, there's kind of a sense of calm, like, man, I know this dude. We've had conversations, and you just feel like some walls are already broken down, and you don't have to get to know him right at the beginning of camp.
Absolutely, and one thing I want to point out as we watch this, we're seeing the coaches on here as well with the players. Some of them have face masks on. Some of them are going shield. And Coach Rule said that that everyone is trying to figure out what works best for them, especially from a coaching perspective. And he said, some people are gravitating towards the shields because when you get out there and you're in the heat of the moment, it's great to be able to see their facial expression. So maybe something's not as serious as you think it sounds if you can see them smiling. I thought that was an interesting point, Jake.
I agree with that. I want to see facial expressions of a coach or of a play, especially the coaches. If they're coaching, I want to see that. I kind of like the shield approach myself.
I do too.
So they just ran a drill, and then now they're going to the other side because they go into the receivers. The receivers are going to turn up, and they're going to take off sprinting for about 15 yards, and the quarterback's going to run down and go meet them on the other side. So that's kind of just normal standard operation. Once again, defensive line, going through back, quickness, speed, power. Quickness, speed, power, attack the football, strip the football out. You got to love it. And athletic ability of these big men are just, it's mind-boggling sometimes.
I think, head out to see the O-line now. Get a look at them for the first time today.
And this is where a lot of ugly magic happens on the football.
Don't call it ugly.
Well, it's not pretty. I'll be very honest with you. So it's but this is, the true minutia of football, just down and dirty. Every hand placement, every step, getting underneath the defensive lineman's pass, pushing him back. This is just, everything is so crucial with the steps on offensive linemen. It's such a, each little step, you can't take a false step. You take a false step, you can let a defensive lineman penetrate a gap, or you can let somebody swipe your hands down, a defensive end swipe your hands down, because these guys, these defensive ends, they're working on their move and things like that.
Absolutely, and Pat Meyer, the offensive line coach, so meticulous. And one thing that I thought was really interesting, we've talked about this fast pace, and we're getting to see it here. Taylor Moton spoke yesterday, and he said, and Jake, you kind of referenced this earlier, they're getting in 2.5 hours of work in a 1.5 hour practice. And he said, look, it's great for us guys up front because we're going to be in incredible shape by the time this is all over.
He's exactly right. And that's what we're doing right now with the DBs. You see, look at the coaches. They're into it. They're into it. They're just not going through the motions. DB backpedaling, flipping his hips, putting his foot in the ground, driving to the football, making the interception. That's just something that just repetition. I believe this is Dante Jackson. Put your foot in the ground, come running, make the pick. Just constant repetition over and over again. These DBs, you have to take care of your feet so much in training camps. And I get a blister because it is just constant backpedal. Everything, we're taught to walk forward in life. We're moving forward. Well, a defensive back, their life is going backwards and then turn, shuffle laterally, plant your foot in the ground, drive. So need to make sure they stay on top of their bodies, stretching wise, and their feet. Make sure their feet are happy because, man, if they're unhappy, it doesn't feel too good.
Yeah, no kidding.
That might be Dante.
That's Dante Jackson. I just wanted he's got his jersey pulled up. That's Dante Jackson. Jake, who you saw earlier was Stanley Thomas Oliver, one of the draft picks from this year. But I tell you what, he's not going to be upset at the comparison at all.
I hope so. I expect a big year out of Dante. So,
yes.
I had an interesting article the other day about him. And this offseason, because he was in Baton Rouge a great deal, he spent a ton of time with Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark was a longtime NFL safety, played at LSU. He's from New Orleans, lives in Baton Rouge, and Ryan's part owner of like a sports performance place. And I think Dante spent a ton of time with Ryan. And just listening to the quotes, Ryan talking about him just mentally, getting Dante right mentally, because the physical tools are there, but making him totally understand everything, how to take care of his body. I think that's going to pay extreme dividends for Action Jackson this year, because Ryan was such a pro. But where Ryan was good, yeah, he was physically good, but just Ryan's mind, he could diagnose things, and he just played with such a mind. He knew what everybody was at. That's something that hopefully Dante can pick up on and really help him make the game slow down for him. As watching the O-line here, and basically they're just doing some combo drills. They're just working in units together and tandems together. A lot of these combo blocks and things of that nature. Just each and like a double team, they pushing somebody, they kicking the defensive lineman out. Want to make sure their steps are in order. They're not tripping over each other. Hand placements in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake, we couldn't stay away from the O-line too long if we got you here. We got a lot of love for those guys.
No, absolutely. There's no doubt. And it's a ton of reps. You're not seeing a ton of walking around. There's a lot of reps going on. And that's the thing. You get high quality reps and full speed in these reps, because in a game you're going full speed. So it's a quick burst, and then you're back in the hump for about 40 seconds. And it's a quick burst, and so you get as many of those repetitions as possible to build muscle memory.
Absolutely. As we head back into the dome now, continuing to show you guys what's going on at the first pad of practice.
Yeah, they're doing it the other way. And they're doing a toe tap at the end of this drill. So these DBs, they backpedaling, they open up, they're going to intercept it and try to toe tap. That's the sideline. Try to get the interception, get the feet in bounds, so we can get the football. Catch. Oh, bad throw by the quarterback. Come on. We need a better throw than that. Let those hips, plant your foot in the ground, feet down.
So what changes from yesterday's practice and shells to putting the pads on? Is there any type of an adjustment period? You've been out of pads for a little bit?
No, absolutely. The weight, one, they're not heavy, but still, it's a different weight that you're going to have on you. Getting used to the pads, the shoulder pads, your body lean, and you're going to get a little more fatigue, to be quite honest. So you want to just stay with proper technique, stay in phase, and exactly what you're supposed to do, and not get lazy. As we switch to the quarterbacks, and Teddy coming up. It's one-on-one routes with air. So one-on-one routes with air, the ball shouldn't hit the ground. I mean, that's got to be the standard. The ball doesn't hit the ground. Good, accurate throws. Receivers run the right depths and catch the passes. And then once you catch it, the ball turn up and get a few yards after. Just practice those habits.
Yeah, this has been great to see these guys get adjusted. And as you said, those one-on-one routes against air. Omar Bayless, we see him right there, number 17. Coach Rule has had a lot of good things to say about him in these first few weeks.
Yeah, he's done a good job. I watched him play in college. He was at Arkansas State, I'm almost positive.
Yes, he was. I got to see him last year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and my college, UL, the Raging Cajuns, that's in the same division, same conference as Arkansas State. So I've been able to watch him play. He's a football player.
Absolutely. So what are you taking away from? So I know we're just seeing drills right now, but what's stood out to you, if anything, so far?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me, just watching the D line, that's what I enjoyed. And I know it's just it's hidden and swiping and getting forearms, but I mean that's what I like. And I like a lot of the drills, especially the defensive side. Everything is finishing with the ball, stripping the ball out, punching the ball out, catching the interception, making sure 2 feet down on the ground, little things like that. You want to possess the ball and you want to take away the football. I mean, those are the two biggest factors in determining really winning and losing a football games. It's just possessing it, keeping it away from the defense. Don't give them a short field. And for the defense, take away. Get short fields for your offense. Create more opportunities, more possessions in the game for your offense.
Well, we might get to see a little bit of that in action in just a few minutes. Guys are taking a slight break right now, but we're going to move on to one-on-ones, wide receivers versus DBs, I believe, in just a little bit. And that's going to be exciting because we get to see some of this stuff in action as we see the guys start to head outside down.
Yeah, definitely so. And I'm anxious to see, are the DBs are they going to be pressed and bumped, or are they going to be playing off? And they might work on whatever's being put in that day. It's not necessarily how they're going to play in a game, but what's the what are we putting in this day? What have we installed this day? Now, on the receiver wise, I'm assuming you have your whole repertoire of routes that you're going to be running. If there's something new, you'll probably want to hit those. But the biggest thing is receiver, and it might be hand signals, I don't know, but like give a signal out. Hopefully the receiver's on the same page. He should know it. If he doesn't know it, ask. That's the biggest thing you tell, especially the young guys. If you don't know, you're going to screw up a rep. Don't screw up a rep. Ask. You might get your butt chewed after, but it doesn't matter. Learn. One, you need to learn playbook first and foremost. But if you don't know, you better ask. Because if you're just out there doing something, then we don't know what you're doing. We're not getting anywhere. You're not getting better, and you're going to make us worse. So that's the big thing. Everybody on the same page. Let's see if the DBs are going to be pressed or if they're going to be off. And let's see them come out of breaks. The drills that they were doing, putting their foot in the ground, driving on the ball. See if they get pass breakups. Let's see if they get an interception, because this is an ego drill. I love this drill, especially the receivers and DBs. I mean, they don't lack for confidence. I don't think there's any doubt. So it's going to be an ego drill, and the quarterbacks are going to talk a little smack too. But that's you're competing. Yeah, I know. I always, when we played, I wanted to always go with Steve if I could. It didn't matter, but like Steve and Moose. But I wanted to go against Chris Gamble every single time. Chris was such a talented football player. I didn't want, and no, it's no offense against somebody that maybe was undrafted or somebody that's on the bottom half of the roster. They're fighting to make it. I wanted to go against the best because Chris made me better. Chris made Steve better. Made each other better because they got after it. That's kind of what I like to see also.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait to see these guys in action and then get to hear what you think of what you see. I loved what you said, though, about being able to ask and correct yourself. I've heard Coach Rule say that to the team before, almost verbatim, Jake, of what you said, where, a mistake is not a mistake the first time if you don't know it's wrong. But then after that, if you're not correcting it, then it's a problem. And, he's encouraged, I've heard him encourage those young guys, this is okay. We can make mistakes as long as we're consistently learning from them right now, because we want to fix those things. And here, as we see, we head to the one-on-ones.
We're going right to one-on-one. So just a quick under route. Nice completion, DJ Moore. I think that was Dante Jackson.
Good place to start for those, huh?
Yeah,
Good matchup.
The two starters. Hey, let's go up against each other. This is PJ Walker. Can't really see on that one, but that's just him going through a fake, making sure your feet are correct. Like as a quarterback, same thing. This is one-on-one drill for receivers and defensive backs. But as a quarterback, take your right steps on a route. If we have an incompletion right there, don't know if it was a poor throw, wrong route. Can't answer that. I'm sure there's some coaching going on no matter what.
Absolutely.
Now we're flipping it to the other side.
Absolutely. That's Pharaoh. Oh, no. What is it? It is. We're trying to catch these numbers along with everybody else.
Hey, listen, a little grabbing by the DB. They might not call it. Somebody might complain, but it looks like a good ball bounced off his hands. You want to catch it. You want to contest everything and catch everything. This was a beautiful, call it a jerk route in essence. You're going to pause for a second and just kind of jerk and go the other way. Great job. Those are always fun when you can kind of shake somebody out their shoes.
As you said, it's an ego drill.
There's no doubt. That's another nice pitch and catch, easy completion as we flip to the other side. So high repetitions, as you can see here, just kind of each side, one side to the next side. And you can see in the background, you have guys, whatever drill that is, maybe O-line, they're running to the ball. They're finishing something. That's what you like seeing. They're moving around. Quick slant, one-step slant. Nice throw, nice completion. Come across his face. You love to be 100% on one-on-ones. Dig route. Oh, DB tried to make the play. Heck of a throw. Nice catch by the receiver.
And that was, I believe, Tommy Lee Lewis, who
Just signed.
yeah,
Correct.
just signed yesterday. So look, already looking comfortable.
And one thing I will say, so Tommy's coming from New Orleans. I can promise you that he knows how to run a route. And then Joe Brady, I'm assuming there's some familiarity there. I promise you, Tommy knows how to run a route, because if it's not precise, they're not throwing you the ball in New Orleans and you're not going to play.
Isn't that the truth?
And that's right there. I love seeing that. That's why we signed Robbie Anderson.
Yes.
Speed, get off, and explosion. Quick burst right away up, and we didn't miss the layup. You never want to miss the layup when somebody's open. And obviously, I couldn't see who the quarterback was, but we did not miss the layup.
No, we didn't. I mean,
so here we go. It looks like DJ Moore, Dante Jackson.
Again, you love to see this right here. Woo!
They battling, physical battling. There's going to be some hands. A DB will be probably a little more handsy in this drill than maybe in a game, because really the officials are not out there. But that's I like Curtis Samuel going with Teddy Bridgewater right here. Boom.
Up against Eli Apple. Yep.
Set up, cross his face, get the ball, get him running. And you want to see a catchable ball. You don't want to see just a catch and then the ball a foot behind, not even a yard, a foot behind him, and where he has to turn his body. You want to catch them running, get them running, keep them going in that right direction for a big play.
That's Omar Bayless right there.
Back shoulder throw.
Yeah.
Omar Bayless, nice back shoulder throw. Good catch. And look, if you just keep making plays in practice, especially now, there's no preseason games. So you'd see guys make plays in practice, then the lights come on in the game and you couldn't find them. Well, there's preseason games, so practice are extremely vital.
Absolutely. And Coach Rules talked about how, as this goes on, they're going to try to get some really competitive practices in there because of the lack of the preseason games, as we saw Pharaoh Cooper right there. And Jake, we talked about this a little bit on Saturday. It's hard to believe that last Saturday would have been the first game of the preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. It just doesn't seem like we've gotten started yet. So this will kind of get it to us. As you can see, we tried to as Zylstra right here, they tried to make as if he was going to run a fade, put his foot in the ground, and maybe meet him at the front pylon. But either a depth issue, bad throw issue, just one of those.
And as a quarterback, we see Teddy back there. Are you clocking, okay, he does this well. Okay, got to work with him on this. How are you looking at this drill?
Yeah, absolutely. You know which guys run around. Nice play by the DB, getting his hand in there and breaking it up. That's what. And look, you saw the coach take off running at the DB right after. Go get the football. To the ball, because if it happens one time during the year where you run to the ball instead of lollygagging and there's a fumble or a tip or whatnot and you get it, that's one more opportunity that you've given your football team. And those are little things. They're small, but man, at the end of the year, you add up those little small deals, gosh, they can add up. And if it adds up to one win, then it's worth it.
Well, and that's why I love watching this with you, because I wouldn't have picked up on that, going on. And you're so right. That could lead to an embarrassing moment in a game and potentially even a loss, So I love that the coaching staff is encouraging those little things right as we're doing these drills.
You develop habits. Correct. Yeah, develop Curtis Samuel, beat him off the line, nice throw, nice catch, completed the catch through the fall. I believe that was Curtis.
As we get ready for the next one-on-one right here.
All right, see Coach Peets is in there. Teddy. Going up to the line. Yeah, tried to run a slant. DB was playing inside. Did a good job of not letting the receiver cross his face. Able to get a hand in there, get it, bat the ball down. The last one was a touchdown, little hole by the DB. So your windows are much, much smaller in the red zone. They're so much smaller, and you got to throw the ball, anticipate it, throw it, and you got to get them in tight windows. Everybody needs to be precise on their routes.
Did you enjoy, what were some of your favorite training camp? Like, did you like the one-on-ones? What were you looking forward to when they said, all right, we're going to run this today?
Yeah. I enjoyed one-on-ones. I liked linebacker, tight end. 7-on-7, it's not football. I like to, you feel pressure. But my favorite thing was we used to call it Panther on Panther. Some teams call it good on good, whatever it may be. But you go one-on-ones. Oh, the starters on offense versus the starters on defense. Those competition drills, those are the things that I think I enjoy more than anything. And during the season, we would have something. What we did was called Panther versus Panther, and all the offense would do would give the defense what personnel we would be in. It's a great catch by Curtis Samuel.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And
great
Jake, you were
catch.
Breaking up just a little bit there.
Look, there's Caddy. Away from where he catch. That's what you love to see. We would go against our defense. You want to the one, and I love the 2-minute situation. 2-minute was the best part of camp because nice throw. You wanted it kind of up high on the back on the goalpost. You want it high to where only your receiver catches it or no one else. Don't know who's throwing, but that was a nice throw, nice placement on the ball. But 2-minute, whenever you did a 2-minute type situation, that was fun because one unit is going to be furious and one team's going to be happy. Throw right there. That's kind of a back of the end zone throw where the receiver comes, he makes 3 steps in, puts his foot in the ground, and heads back to the back pylon. You'd like to see us complete everything.
And I think we might be having a little bit of an issue with
making sure we get the route correct. I believe this is Zylstra.
Yes, it is. Good catch by him. And Jake, you're back with us. All right, so that's going to wrap up that portion of the one-on-ones. Jake, what did you see from that period right there? I was impressed by some of those catches, some of those routes.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel, I thought, made a couple of nice catches. Didn't see a ton of DJ Moore. I saw a couple early. Robbie Anderson, I think we saw the speed. Obviously, I don't think we saw a ton of the quarterbacks throwing, but just watching the receivers and running those routes and the precision of the routes. And we saw a couple of DBs break on the ball, bat a ball down. Well, that's the drills they did 15, 20 minutes earlier. And that's something that coaches can coach on, coaches can teach on. And that's what we did in our drills. And you did it the exact way in a team type of setting. So can you build on that day in and day out? And the routes depends on how much of a route tree they had today. Was it we only running these routes, receivers, because this is kind of what we're put in. We're taking baby steps. So we're not exactly sure what the whole concept is of the one-on-ones and is it the whole repertoire of route? But you like to see guys compete. You like to see good, accurate throws. You don't want to see the ball hit the ground. As a DB, you want to see the ball hit the ground every single play, unless you're intercepting it. So just competition, all over the place.
Absolutely. And like you said, there's still so much that we don't know and that we can't exactly say from just seeing that part of practice today. Like you said, we don't know how much they were trying to get done, what their route trees looked like today. But guess what? This isn't the only day we're doing this. We're going to be bringing this to you on a daily basis. So we're going to learn a lot more over the next couple of weeks about this team. And I'm so excited. We're going to wrap up here in a couple of minutes. But before we do, we got to get to our Coca-Cola Better Together moment. And Jake, something tells me that you're really going to like this. So this is from Friday, the end of a week, it's Friday. We're going to let loose a little bit after practice. The guys did some golfing. We're going to take a look. And Jake, tell me what you think when you see it.
Oh, so they got to get it through the goal. Oh, my God. Well, I'm not sure who that was. Well, he tried it.
Good, right, Eddie?
Oh, my gosh. This is awesome. Okay. Tell the way. Got a little too much ground. But he had a nice setup. Trey Boston, I know he's home.
They're not my clubs, you know what I mean?
Nah, we want Coach Snow to go first.
He did the pose. He did the pose. Coach Snow did the pose. He knew he hit it right.
So Coach Snow told me he's a great golfer, but he's told me that he gets beat by his dad, who's in his 80s. So
Oh, wow.
I'd like to see Coach Snow's dad out there.
I would guess so. But you see, little things like that. That's probably a 5-minute period max. But you just get a few guys out there. You try to do that right at the end of practice. Maybe there's some type of reward or a run, a push-up, whatever it may be. But that's fun. And when somebody that doesn't know how to do it well and their video, that's going to be shown that night in meetings or that afternoon. Little things like that. Those things that you never know where they might pop up. They might pop up 3 months from now, maybe next year. That's always fun things. Little things at the end. You go, you practice hard, you practice your tail off, you reward yourself for a little fun, because this is fun. And it's fun when you win, but when you work hard, I mean, you got to enjoy yourself some.
Yeah, I completely agree. That was fun to get to see them do that. And this has been fun, getting to see the first practice in pads for these guys and getting to do it all with you, Jake. Thank you for sitting in your truck for the last hour, hanging out, watching this practice with me. You know, it's not quite the same as being there, but I'm so glad that we got to do this and bring this to all the fans today.
No, absolutely. I enjoyed it. I sitting in my truck at the track, but there's nothing like taking a little reprieve and watching a little practice, get the juices flowing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you to everyone who watched. And like I said, we'll be doing this a lot more. So we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.